Welcome back, everybody. We are getting ready to start doing some of the work on the car now that the engine is back in the house. We've got the short block that we're going to be bringing out today, putting it on the engine stand so we can be ready to start putting the heads on it. We got to finish up a couple little minor things on the head so that we can make sure that we're ready to slap those on the short block. But we also have our NVIDIA downpipe here that we're probably going to be taking care of today. On the front of the car, you'll see it's still got the stock downpipe. So we're going to be taking this one off here, replacing it with that NVIDIA Catalyst version, and then that will make it a little bit easier having the engine out and the turbo off. Then we'll start getting the rest of these items. As you can see, we've got all of our pieces sitting around here, ready to go back on. Yeah, we got all of our pieces here, got our intake, the wiring harness. I went ahead and I took all the old protective stuff off of it, retaped it with new wire looming, kind of getting it ready so that we can get ready to put the wiring harness pieces for the new fuel injectors, because we're going to have to solder those in. You can see we're starting to test fit a couple pieces here for that top feed conversion from Deechworks. Then we got our oil pan.
Remember, there was turbo pieces in there.
Yes, we had turbo shrapnel everywhere in this engine when we first took it apart. So we got a lot of other things here. Pipes, hose, motor mounts, cam gears, valve covers.
If I remember, one of the gears that we pulled off the engine was bad.
No, they're all good.
Okay.
They were all good from what we can tell. We got some pieces that aren't going to be going back on here, like the water pump and the thermostat will not be going back on there. Obviously all of our timing pieces will not be going back on there. We got all brand new stuff for that. We went ahead and we started cleaning everything up, so you can see, like I went through and we wire wheeled all of our connection pieces, all of our bolts. Everything is really cleaned off, got all the oily muck and grime out of it. And then we are also cleaning up the throttle bodies. Everything here is getting cleaned up.
And here's the bench grinder, and we got my dad's first bench grinder back here, which we got from garage sale, all the way back there by the wood pile.
Yeah, that one died on us midway through the cleanup. So we got all the engine covers here. We've got our fans, everything ready there. So back here we have all of our other parts here. We got our injector dynamics, new fuel lines. We've got our inlet pipe. We've got our new radiator. We've got our turbo.
Yeah, definitely the turbo.
We've got our header and up pipe in there. And we've got our new fuel pump. So we've got everything sitting in this car now. We're ready to get going. We're going to get started on it. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this downpipe taken care of.
Hey guys, and my dad got the engine in here. We got the rods in, we got the pistons, and we got all the stuff on. Soon, we're going to put the valve covers on, but my dad's going to get a rag to put on top, and basically, yeah, he carried it out here by hand, got some marks on his arm, and this thing is pretty heavier, and everything else. See you later.
All right, well, it's time to put the long block together. We've got the short block here, we got the windage tray and the pickup tube and the oil pan. The oil pan's on there just loosely. The pickup tube and the windage tray are on there for good. Got some beef sticks from our local meat market and some drinks. So what are we gonna do today?
So today we got this finished earlier, and so we're going to put that on this part of the engine. Then we're going to get the other out here.
The other head out here? Yeah, so we did get one of the heads put together already. We'll have a little clip of that here soon. So we're gonna get ready to go ahead and get the other head prepped and ready to go. We just need to get the caps put on it here. And then we'll be ready to put that one on the engine block as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so what you've been seeing me write on is just a little sheet that I've been keeping to try to make sure that I'm getting my tolerances right on my heads. You can see where I've been moving buckets around by crossing off numbers. So that's what you saw me doing there for a while, as I was taking buckets out of one slot and put them into another. The difference being that when we first started the build, we had old valves, so we had the heads gone through, we had valve jobs done, gotten all the pitting out of the valve seats. We replaced a bunch of everything. We basically ran through those entire heads and got all brand new parts everywhere. Problem with that is as you start to remove material, you're going to throw your tolerances off, and they were already off a little bit because they were mashed down. All of the buckets were about 2 thousandths shorter than what they said on the bucket themselves. So that's what we're doing here, going through, resizing all the buckets, and then moving them around so that I can buy the least amount of buckets as possible. So a note, don't put on the cam caps before you put the head on the engine. Gideon is removing the cam caps now because the head bolts are underneath the cams, so you got to have your cams out and your caps off, obviously. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this apart. Hopefully it hasn't dried too much that we have to really clean it up again, and we'll try this again. Okay, so we got the head bolts in it. What we're gonna do now is we gotta go through the tightening sequence. We're gonna go ahead and skip over the stretching sequence because we're just reusing the bolts that we were using before. We just cleaned them up real good, made sure that they weren't showing any signs of cracks or anything in them. So first thing we're gonna do is we've gotta go and tighten all the bolts to 36 foot-pounds in the alphabetical sequence. And that sequence starts right here in the middle top bolt. So you need to tighten that one until it clicks. Okay, and then next one is B, which is this one.
It's getting harder.
Okay.
And harder every single time you.
And next is C, which is this one.
It's harder and harder after every single turn.
Okay, and then this one here.
D.
Okay, and go to this one here.
E.
And then on this last one here.
F.
Yep. Okay,
There we go.
so we'll go through and check them real quick. Okay, first pass is done. So second pass, a little harder, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that one.
Why can I do it?
Because now we have to pull it a full 90 degrees around.
I know how to do 90 degrees.
Okay, well we'll let you try it. Okay, so 90 degrees in alphabetical sequence. So, alphabetical,
I know how to do 90 degrees.
okay. Okay, so there we go.
Hey, do you need to make it so it's facing that way?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
I can do it.
A little more. A little more. Right there. Okay. Go ahead and take it off.
Go up here.
Hold on. No. Go back one. Okay. Get up on it. There you go. Keep on pulling. A little bit more. Right there. That's good. Okay.
Next is that one or that one?
This one here.
That way.
Okay. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. This one. Okay. I'm pulling. Keep pulling. Keep going. Okay. Is that one? So we're gonna have to go a little bit past. Okay, go ahead.
I regret.
Yep. Okay. This last one here. All right. Okay. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
So our final tighten is 45 degrees in the same sequence.
How are we going to do 45?
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Is it like that?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll be acting as kind of late.
That's about 45. That's about 45. About 45.
What happens if we're tightening them more than 45?
It's got a little bit of leeway. Alright, that's about 45.
F, the last word.
Alright, that's about 45. So,
We don't have the techie stuff.
well, that is the techie stuff. That's how it's supposed to be done. Okay.
I feel like I'm in motion right now.
So then we have to do one more. And it looks like bolts A and B need to do one more 45 degrees.
A.
Right in the center. Yeah?
In alphabetical?
Yes. So A, then B. Alright. One more crank on them. Hold on. Okay. That's it. So first we did 90 on all of them in alphabetical sequence. Then we did 45 on all of them in alphabetical sequence. And then A and B got another 45 degrees. And that should be it. Yeah, it's calming down now.
Thanks, it's gonna get hard.
Right. There it comes. Yep. Deafening. A little loud. Kind of hard to videotape in this noise.
Okay, let's just go inside and wait until it passes.
All right.
Make sure to grab your...
All right, so yesterday we finished up the long block, or so we thought. I was going to start putting on some of the coolant lines, like this one right here. And I started to wonder why it wasn't lining up with the holes. So I'm starting to look around, what am I hitting on? I'm hitting on a head gasket. So if you notice here, we've got the head gasket on that side upside down. that should be, this hole should be over here covering this area. So we were paying too much attention to our camera angles and stuff like that instead of looking better at how we were putting it together. So now I'm going to be taking this head off. We're going to flip it over. Hopefully there's no damage to the head gasket itself. And if there is, then we'll be on hold for about a week until we get a new head gasket here. So I'm going to get to it and try to fix the problem that we created. Okay, so silver lining, we can look at the cam caps now and see if I put too much goo, RTV, in to block any of our oil valleys. And it looks like I got the perfect amount in there. So that's a little reassuring, you know, trying to look at the good of stuff. This gave us a chance to make sure that we weren't overdoing it with the RTV near those valleys. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up getting this head taken off, and we'll get that checked out and we'll let you know how it looks. We got the head gasket off.
Because my dad put it on backwards.
I put it on backwards. That was my fault. Looking at the surface, everything looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the surface of the gasket a little bit because a little bit of oil get into the surface once I took it off. So I think we're okay. Won't have to wait for another gasket to come. So I'm going to go re-clean the surface of that. I'm going to re-clean the surface of the head, and then I'm going to clean the surface of the gasket, and then we'll get started to put it back together. Flub is fixed. So you can see now our head gasket is in the right direction. We've actually got space to put on that coolant line. So it took us about, what, an hour? Pop that head off, get it all taken care of. I think so. So we're gonna go ahead and stop here for a little bit. We have to run over to the hardware store and make sure that we got plenty of peripheral type volts. So I'm gonna get some extra ones and make sure that we have enough just in case any of these were not found.